Hi people, how are you doing? Welcome back to this channel. It's your girl Mercy Anjere, and for new subscribers, karibuni sana. Feel at home, like this is home. You can follow me on my Instagram account at Anjere Mercy, Facebook Mercy Anjere, Twitter ilikata kabisa. I don't know. So today we are going to tackle a section about men and relationships. Here with me is our guest of today. Karibu sana. Introduce yourself to these amazing viewers.
Hi, my name is Wesley Jeff. I am a fourth year law student, somewhere in this great nation of ours.
Men are not complicated, but men are not easily understood. That's why I invited him so that we can have this chat one-on-one and see how it goes. So I have like several questions here. I'll be asking him and ajibu. So Wes, how do men handle relationships?
Explain.
Okay, like ladies, when we get a boyfriend, kila mtu atajua. We have, if I get a boyfriend, neighbors will know I'm in love. My mother will know I'm in love. My friends will know I'm in love. But for men, he can be dating. Utaona picha za mtoto kesho. You don't know that man has been dating for the past 3 years or 4 years. So how do men handle these things?
I think that comes down to the kind of person you are as a person. Most men are not natural posters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen this thing that's written. You'll take the relationship seriously when the guy posts about it.
Yeah, I have. Like last year when I was in a relationship.
Oh, so what I feel is just that girls are a bit more expressive. Ladies express more. Men are creatures of action. Like, it's the way I act. I know so many times you will find a girl is hanging out with a guy. Everything is going fine, but the girl feels the need to ask, what are we? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
So in that point, I can tell you, of course, there are the other kind of guys when you wanakonga tu awako hapo, but you will find the other half of guys who are like, I didn't have to explain myself. I thought we already this way.
Yeah.
So men, by action, we define what we do by our actions. So you'll find that if I am with a lady I really like, I don't feel the need to communicate the exact thing. Unaona venye nyinyi madem mutaka to tell me.
Yeah, tell me, who are we?
But let me ask you a question. What's the difference between me asking you, can you be my girlfriend, and me acting and taking you out on dates and calling you to...
You can be taking me out on dates too, juu wetu ni mtu wa kumpeleka watu out. Me like a girl, lazima unulize, can you be my girlfriend? Nitajua this is a step ahead.
Yeah.
Unajua taking someone, hizo actions zingine hazikwangi genuine. Maybe tu mtu ametoka kwa break up and maybe he misses something that he was doing in that relationship. So since we are close to Mercy, let me just continue taking her. Then Mercy anajifilia, am I the girlfriend? Ama what is he trying to communicate? So I'll ask.
Okay, I understand where women come from with that, but we have to understand, like, for me, I've come to understand men and women, we are fundamentally different. How we perceive the whole idea of things is different. You see, like for you approach the relationship perspective from an idea of care and nurture. You understand? Like a woman will always want to be cared. She will measure her value by how much care she can give to someone or something. Men approach a relationship from a providing aspect. Like, if I am acting in providence, I don't need to communicate to my girlfriend. Most men will tell you that. Like, I could be taking you out for dates. I could be calling you, like, nikupigia asubuhi nikuulize how your day was. I call you in the evening, have a good night. I do the things boyfriends do. But sijasema. I mean, you don't need a whole presentation with PowerPoint to know that I am interested in you.
Wow.
If I am acting like I am your boyfriend, then most chances are I am your boyfriend. So yeah.
Okay, question number 2. Do men ever sit and feel like they miss their girlfriends and just call or just check up on them?
Of
Because
course.
for ladies, if I'm in love, by the way, I'm in love. My mind is there, my heart, my soul, everything of me is in that relationship.
Yeah.
Do you just like sit down and feel like, Kai, I miss this girl, and then take a phone and call her? Do you?
I'm tempted to ask you what do you think first, but I think you already have the answer to that. But yeah, I mean, guys, like people have a perception, like a hard perception about men. But the truth is, yes, we do. Like, if I'm dating someone and I value her and I am very much into her, what will stop me from communicating? Like, I will call my girlfriend, I'll ask how she's doing, I will miss her. I'll be like, I want to see you.
Una reduce gangster points.
See, wacha nikwambie gangster points. Gangster points ni ya umati.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
wacha nikwambie unaambiangwa usidanganywe na kitu unaonanga huku nje. Men are treated very different by their girlfriends within their relationships. So, sasa ukiingia kwa hizo relationships upewe tu a few gangster points hakuna.
It's you in that relationship.
Yeah, but seriously though, men do call their girlfriends. They do act in a way. Like, let me ask you, the guy in question, the guy we were talking about earlier, the guy who had social media, who had ifike hapo, do you really think that person did not miss, call, and do all those things?
He did. Maybe akapata hapo blocked.
Yeah. And so many other guys do it. We just do it differently. You see, like for a chick, now what you're expecting is because chicks also want to interpret the men perspective from their perspective. Unaona wewe ukipigia boyfriend yako kidogo hivi akosa kushika simu.
Hey!
Unaona? Sasa hizo ndo mashida. You understand? And let's even remove the insecurity part of it. You will, when he actually calls you back the next time, you will ask, mbona umechukua simu? You understand?
That's the first question.
Yeah.
Even if I was calling to know how he is, akicall juu hakushika, mbona hukushika simu yangu?
Exactly.
That's the first
So
question.
now women approach the whole relationship perspective and try and see men from their eyes, which is not possible. Like, as we see things differently. Like, I might be busy the whole day, but I will make sure I will call you if you're available to me. I'll call you, I'll text you, and one thing men hate, I can tell you, is explaining themselves. So, like, if I call you and tell you, Mercy, today I couldn't talk to you because of A, B, C, and D, and D, and D. I've explained myself to you. So, then best believe you have value in my life.
Wow.
Because there are some people I would never dream of explaining myself to. Why would I? For what reason? So yeah, we do. We have our own version of things, and I think if more men were to talk about it, they would explain the version from their perspective.
Wow, okay. Question number 3. How do men handle struggles in relationships? Ladies are weird. We can cry, we talk to our friends, I can even shout between the two people in love.
That's totally different because some men to shout. But if you're talking about the general terms of struggles, like if you're dating somebody and they're going through something on their own, not something involving with you two, but something on their own, how they handle it now is different. Like you said, women will talk, will cry, will shout, will be frustrated and all that, and they'll let it out. But for guys, ni different. Unaona saa, if I'm going through something and I have a girlfriend, most men will have a problem talking about it.
Why?
Now, this one is, it's the issue of vulnerability. You see, for you, me personally, these are my personal beliefs, and I think this is my thought. Vulnerability for men is very expendable. Like, I am not infinitely vulnerable. That's why I started by saying we are fundamentally different. Like for you, the way women they're created, they can create more love, more care, more vulnerability. No, I'm not making excuses for bad men, but to some extent, there is a bit of light to what is said. That a man will be heartbroken once and then will change his whole character to that. So umesikia hiyo mostly inakuanga ni story ya vulnerability. Men are afraid of the consequences of vulnerability and not vulnerability itself. So in a relationship, if I'm going to say the most common that makes men stressed, financial issues, in a with a girlfriend, in a frustrate, most men will not talk about it.
All men.
Most men.
You
Because
must.
if you look at it, sasa unajua, like I told you, men approach it from a providence perspective. Now I want you to see the conflict that will generate. You're asking me what's going on because you care, because you're approaching the relationship from a care perspective, and me, I'm approaching the relationship from a providence perspective. So now the providence has been taken away from me. So inadvertently, in my head, I am feeling inadequate about something. You understand? So kukuja nikuambie jo ni pesa inanisumbua blah blah blah, most men find it hard because men take their vulnerability very seriously. They don't want to be vulnerable to the wrong person. Like I saw this from one of my favorite YouTubers. These are his thoughts. He says that men treat their vulnerability, their emotional sanctity, the same way women treat their sexual sanctity. And I've come to believe that because if a lady is pressured into sex, she sleeps with the wrong person too fast or too soon, and more often than not will feel cheapened. It doesn't necessarily make her cheap, but hiyo ni kitu atafeel kutoka ndani. Understand? The same way, if men open up to the wrong person too fast, and in the wrong circumstances, they feel emotionally cheapened. Unaona, the same question utauliza sasa uchali amenionaje, or how has this guy, has my perception to this guy changed? The same way I think, has this girl seen me weak? You understand? So you understand now how different it comes. That's why men find it a little bit more harder to open up to women than it. But that changes with time and trust. It definitely changes.
Okay. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. And you can follow me on my Instagram account at Anjere Masi, Facebook Masi Anjere. So back to you, Wesley. Question number 4. How do men handle breakups? Do men fear rejection?
No, men don't fear.
How do you handle breakups? Do you move on? Do you move on even
is even the part of the problem, because men, the way society is set up here, they're set up to be rejected. Like ushaona dem akijaribu kushoot shot yake. Girls and ladies are so afraid of rejection, they will not shoot their shot.
Me, I have shot my shot once.
Look at you. How many times do you think I've shot my shot? Probably missed, probably hit this.
Me, I've shot my shot once and I wasn't rejected, but I was ready for that rejection.
Yeah. How would you have handled it? Would you have gone again and
tunafikanga ile point ya God for us, man for himself. So me, I shot my shot and the guy said, really? I've been thinking the same way, but I was afraid to tell you. So it's good it has come from you. So let's see how it works out.
Yeah.
So that men...
You see, like, first of all, I don't think most men out there are not afraid of rejection, because the society is set up that witches. And I have opinions about that, but yeah, just go with that. Anyway, the way I look at it is, when you're chasing, you know the possibility of the fact that you might not get what you want. Yeah. So we are ready for that. And when it happens, guys move on from that specific situation very quickly. But in terms of breakup, breakup is different.
Let's say you have invested in me.
Yes.
A lot. Investment, I mean a lot.
Yes.
You have like put your all in my life. Then from nowhere, mi najipa shughuli kaende, I don't care how you will feel. Then this is the person you envisioned your life together with, and they're there going without even thinking what you did. How will that how will you come to terms to that?
I don't know. How much time do you have? But generally, what I think is most men, 90% of men handle it in very unhealthy ways. You see, like women, like if today, you know, a scenario that a woman is so aggrieved and she goes and causes drama.
Siku hizi wasichana wanavunja magari.
Exactly, wanavunja magari, wanachoma vitu, unagonga gate yenyewe mpaka inafunguliwa mpaka media wanakuja. I get that. And if you look at it, society finds that more permissible. Do you understand? Society allows women to do that. It's not the right thing to do per se, but ukichoma nguo yangu ama utupe Jordan zangu pale nje, like he deserved it. But if I were to date you and tuseme to break up because of you and I trash your stuff, I will not have this.
You want?
So what do you think men do in that light? They end up unadinayo kimwanaume. That's the most common thing you will say. Unadinayo kimwanaume. So personally, I've seen how men deal with breakups, starting from a perspective experience, but I've seen generally. No, I can prompt. I talk about those things I was talking about. Men find the idea of emotion very foreign. We want to solve problems mechanically and logically. Be a problem solver. Provide if you need to provide. It's not about the emotion. But the truth of the matter is, if I can be happy because I've gotten a job, and you can be happy because you've gotten a job, I think I'm also entitled to feeling the feelings that come with heartbreak the same way you do. So men, because that's how I'm on our attacking kuongea, and we've established why they don't want to talk. It's the whole vulnerability issue. Yeah? They express it in very unhealthy ways. Utapata mtu ameenda kwa bar amekunywa, trying to forget his problems. You'll find he'll be caught in between one or two women at that particular time. Like they deal with it in very unhealthy ways. Story time. I've had a friend. This friend of mine was going through something, but she didn't tell me. I didn't even know. So he tells me, "Can we go out for a drink?" So we go. Personally, I do not drink. So tumefika huko. He's drunk. He's alcohol here and there kidogo. Then akaanza kufunguka. So me, I'm like, is this the alcohol or is this my friend? But he was raising legit problems. So I told him, I'm not going to talk to you when you're drunk. Get sober tomorrow, we'll talk. The next day, when he's nursing his hangover and it's well into the day, he talks, and then this guy says, I asked him, so about yesterday. This guy said, yesterday, yesterday you were telling me very serious stuff. And then he was like, you ilikuwa pombe. And he stuck to his guns, and that's what he said. Nikamwambia, bro, yesterday you were almost crying, alcohol or not. And then he was like, silly life. So are you seeing how they reduce the emotional perspective of their lives? Like us guys, we want to finyilia your part, which I think is unhealthy. This is the reason why I did my first video, because women have really abilities to talk, platforms to talk about themselves. Like you can go to a self-help group if you're experiencing domestic violence. Unaweza enda, you find a group of women who have gone through it, and you talk and you feel comfortable with your peers. There was a time I tried searching for one for men, and nilipata. It was just one, the one I found. It was charging 2,000 for 2 weeks. One session for 2 weeks. Like you all meet within 2 weeks, but 2,000 we gave. Like, what if I'm already, the reason why I'm experiencing problems and heartbreak was because of emotional issues, financial issues. So what happens then? So I'm supposed to pay you for you to listen to me. You see how it becomes a problem?
Yeah.
So yeah, men repress. So the short answer to that is men repress a lot, which is something I'm trying to see if I can help them, that you can balance your vulnerabilities and your strength. So yeah, men repress.
Wow, okay. Okay, so me, I've learned so many things in sikujua kuhusu wanaume, and I have a brother a very big brother. And maybe just before I go, Wesley can tell, as in, kuna young men huku nje, people who haven't discovered themselves, like what can you tell a young man out there mwenye pia anaona by the way men kuna venye wamewekwa na society which is not right? Just like tell them something, watasikia of course.
So if I were to tell them something, it would take a whole while, so I'll try. I'm starting to unpack these issues on my social medias, trying that. So I'm on Instagram as @itsjwes on Instagram, Wesley Jeff on Facebook, and it's jwes on Twitter. I also have a podcast called Life on Levels with Wes, and there I talk about various things that aggrieve men. But if I were to tell you something in like 2-3 lines, I'd tell you that we are not one-dimensional. We've been taught that we are or we should be. We are pillars of the society, but these pillars should not break, bend, or look the other side. But I believe we have different dimensions of us. And the true ability of a man is to balance your strength and your vulnerabilities. You have to accept your vulnerability so that you can embrace your strength. Hakuna siku utajua wewe ni brave kama hujaisikia uoga. You understand? You can't understand strength if you don't see. So I tell you, be aware of your vulnerabilities and balance it with your strengths.
Wow. Thank you so much for opening up. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for giving me some wisdom. You done well. And guys, here comes the end of our show today. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing this content. Have a blessed, fruitful, productive week. Bye. I love you all.
Bye.